Hey everybody, this is your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Now, before we begin, I would like to ask that you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share me if you're feeling the content. Now, this story is going to take place again in Orlando, Florida, off Ivy Lane Road, in between Old Winter Garden Road and Edgemore Street. Now, I had to be I'm going to say about 14, 15 years old. My mother had sent me and my baby sister, Big Bot, to the store to get her some orange juice, some smaller stuff, a pint of orange juice, probably some cooking lord, because the next day she was going to make Sunday morning breakfast before everybody went to church. Now, it got a little, I don't know what to call this. I've been talking with a lot of people addressing, seeing what I was going to title this and everything, so I'm at a loss for words. So, well, so on the way to, in between Edgemore Street and Old Winter Garden Road off Ivy Lane Road, there's a wooded area. It's not there anymore, but there was a wooded area. And the woods would stretch all the way from the Werico gas station that was previously there, all the way to the little Asian store called Magic Fry. So in between that little patch, there was a wooded area, trees, brush, everything. But there was a sidewalk that, we all could walk on and just so we won't have to walk in the middle of the street or the woods itself. So one night around about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, we had to rush up there to the store for my mom. And so my sister and I had to walk past these woods. So I put my sister on the outside of me, and she walked in the strip of grass closest to the road while I walked on the sidewalk closest to the woods. And because I had seen various snakes and all that stuff coming out of there, sitting on trees, sunbathing. So, I didn't want baby sister to get bit. I was going to take the hit for her if it came down to it. Well, so as we're going up there, walking to the store, we keep hearing some rustling in the bushes, noise, rustling, thumping, and sometimes the occasional yelp. And I'm going to try to describe the sound, and maybe you guys have heard this before or something similar. Here we go. Yip, 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 yip. So we would hear something along those lines, but you could tell it wasn't coming from a human. And we didn't pay it no mind. I picked up a stick off the ground and like, boy, how we talking? Anybody jump out this bitch, I'm going to tear that ass up. I say, my sister picked up a little Budweiser beer bottle that was on the ground. And she said, yeah, this is my other brother because it's brown like you. So all four of us, she had two in her hand. She like, all four of us going to beat him up. So we laughing and joking and shit. So we make it to the store. We get what we wanted for my mom. And then now we're walking back. People, let me tell you, this had to be the slowest descent back past these woods. And the woods probably was about a football length, about a football yard. It was the slowest descent. So as we're walking and we get down halfway through it, and we can see the light of Magic Fry store from their parking lot. So all of a sudden, we hear the yeep yeep again. And the yeep yeep is getting louder, but it's not in the distance anymore. It's very close to us. So I say, damn, that yeep yeep is sounding like loud or either close. And my sister was like, yeah, man. So she said, just keep walking. Probably somebody at the stupid playing. Now, people, the way these woods were set up, we never know because we never looked in the woods. But as we grew up and got older and we had to ride our bikes past this or drive our cars past this, I looked over there to this day and there was a marsh, like It was a lake back there filled with water with green algae blooms and a bunch of trees and fallen trees and brush and wood that was covering it. So we thought it was dry all the way back there. It's not until I got grown till I realized that that was a literal swamp. And then the swamp would start there and it would curve around, go behind the Werco gas station and go behind the Ivy Lane Elementary School all the way to where it stopped at, right at the borderline of Ivy Lane Elementary, because that all that stuff was undeveloped land at that time. So no way this could have been somebody trocking through a swamp with snakes and moccasins and everything. With snakes, moccasins, and wild animals, turtles. I don't know what the fuck was back there, man. We never did. So now we keep hearing the yeep yeep gets closer and closer. And my sister, she's like, bruh, I think we need to run. So I say, yeah, I think we need to run too. Well, my sister had surgery on her legs because she was a very bow-legged girl. And my mom did this procedure back in the day where they had the bow-legged people had their legs broken and then they put the metal screws in there. So my sister's legs wasn't all the way like straight and she couldn't run like us. She always had that kind of that C leg thing. We call them C legs. So she always had the C leg. So when she did try to run, we would be careful not to let her put too much weight on it. So now she say, I think we ought to run. And I'm like, no, I say, no, let's take it easy. I say, I got you. So I picked up the stick again on the way back. So all of a sudden, rocks and sticks and twigs was being thrown out of the bush at us. And so I'm like, yeah. I say, that's somebody in there playing. I say, that's probably Reggie or Robert in that bitch throwing some shit at us. They playing because they knew we were coming to the store. And I'm like, fuck you, asshole. I say, come out, pussy niggas. We sitting out there threatening them. My sister sitting out there like, fuck you. So she picked up the same rock they threw at us and she threw it back in the bush saying, take that, hope it bust your head open. So, but they never said nothing. They never laughed. They never said anything. So keep in mind, we still got about 50 yards to walk before we clear this wooded area. So we're walking, and the sticks are being thrown. The yeep yeep is still going. Now it seems like multiple yeep yeeps. And so we like, oh fuck. So now I say, it's a group on. They playing too damn much. And I just said, okay, y'all bring y'all ass out here. It's on. I'm making crazy threats. So I grabbed my little sister's hand and I said, come on, sister, I'm going to walk a little faster. Just try to keep up with me. So as we get to walking a little faster, all of a sudden, one of the biggest rocks I've ever seen in my life came launching at us from the woods. The rock was extremely big. If you want to give you an idea how big the rock was, think about a basketball, but just add about 6 inches around each edge of it, about 18 inches around. And it was all jagged like stone and it had moss on it and shit. And that rock came flying out of the bushes with such force that it hit the road. It overshot us and hit inside the road. So we like, okay, 2 people couldn't throw that bitch to make it go that far. So we like, okay, this is a monster now. So we yelling, running, screaming, oh shit, a monster. So now we're sitting up there yelling, oh shit. So now we're running, and now rocks and sticks are being thrown at a rapid pace. So we finally clear the brush and we get the magic fry. And it's the light. So we turn around and we look back, but we didn't see nobody, but we keep hearing the yip yip. So we go home and I say, hey, Uncle B. I call my brother Randy. I say, you and Robert and them, y'all come with us. Robert is not my cousin Robert. I'm talking about my brother had a best friend named Robert. So all of them come up there and they like go get their little pistols and guns because they was hot boys at this time. I was still legit. So they get their little guns and they go up there and we all standing there in the Magic Fry parking lot because they were like, it ain't no monster. Me and my sister was like, this is a monster now. So they thought it was a rival gang. So they was gonna oh, don't nobody fuck with my kinfolk. You rival gang, pussy niggas from Mercy Drive. What y'all doing over here on Ivy Lane Road? Y'all out of pocket. So they went down there to Boom Rush, had chains and all that shit in their hand. So as they standing up there, I'm standing by the bus stop a good 30 yards away. They right at the edge of the bush. So as they come to the edge of the bush, all of a sudden, they see this giant, about 8'3", hairy little monster thing come out. Cause I remember my uncle kept saying, "Ooh, it stank, it smells so bad." He said, "Ooh, it stank, it smells so bad." Cause he used to make the joke, it smelled like a Bear Glade Indian. And to this day, I don't know why we say that in our family. I guess Bear Glade Indian must not bathe. I don't know. And forgive me if I insult you, but I'm just telling you the contents of how we used to talk back in the day. So I was like, ooh, whoever they are, they smell like Bear Glade Indians. And so they come up, the monster thingy come up. It's about 8'2" from where I was standing, what I seen. And the thing start picking up trees and sticks and throwing them at Uncle and my brother now like it wasn't nothing. And so they pull out their pistol and they go to thumping. Pop, 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 pop. So they shooting at it. And now Uncle and them, they was savages. I'm pretty sure they knew how to shoot guns. And it was this 8'2" monster right at the corner in the light that they can see. So they had to shoot the thing like 12 times. But the thing didn't die, the thing didn't go down. Then another one came and it started pelting rocks and sticks and twigs and stuff. So now everything is pelting. It's pelting at all us in. So my uncle them like, yeah, let's get out of here. So they turn around and they go running back up Ivy Lane Road past the elementary school cross country field. So Unc was like, man, what's that? We need to call the police. We need to call the police. And they like, nah, don't call the police. We just shot at the thing. What if somebody was in a costume and they dead? And everybody, they were rationalizing on my mama back porch like, dude, 12 bullets hit this thing. That ain't no human. That's a monster. Call the police. So nobody called the police. But to this day, if you was to ask my Uncle B, my brother Randy, they swear they saw a 8'2" hairy monster demon thing throwing rocks at them and it wanted to kill them. I was just seeing them point in the direction and shoot. I didn't get to see the monster thing. I don't know what they playing with me saying, hey, it was a monster in that bit, but we had walked up that, we had to walk past that wooded area for 14, 15 years till we got out the hood, and just thinking that thing would be in there. So now, that segues into another part of the story that I'm gonna add to it. So y'all check me out here. So now, it's 2 years later, 2 years passed. So none of the adults believed us. Everybody didn't believe what they seen, so it kind of faded out. So now I have to go to this store on numerous occasions because that was the gas station, and then you had the Asian store, Magic Fry, then you had the Werco gas station that was there. So I'm sitting up here, and we have to go past. So I would borrow somebody's bike and I would ride, and when I come to the wooded section, I would cross the street. And then when I passed the wooded section, then I crossed back over to get to Werco. I never walked across the wooded area. Now this is where this is where I met the Baron, for the first time in my life as well. So I crossed the street, and as I get to the wooded area, Magic Fry, right before we get there. As I'm getting ready to cross the street, because I didn't want the monster to get me. Blue Buick. It was a small baby Buick LeSabre. I think a Buick Century. A bluish gray Buick Century comes barreling down the road, and boom, it hits me. And it hits me, I flip forward, I land on the windshield. I'm seeing this in slow motion. I roll off upside down, and it knocked me away, but the car was still moving. So as the car was still moving, the car came to rest directly on top of my chest, pinning my chin up against the tire to where I couldn't even twist my head. I was just stuck, so the car literally sitting on my chest. So as the car's sitting on my chest, I'm like thinking, ah, shit, I'm dead. And I'm thinking I'm having an out of body experience. I'm all in that shit. So I can hear everything that's going on. I'm not unconscious. And only thing I can think about is that monster gonna come out the woods and get me. Or something. Or a snake gonna crawl up and bite me on the ass while I'm on the ground. I was just terrified. So now, for the 5 hours, I sat with that car on my chest in front of the woods where we was terrified of being. The Baron comes down and he holds my hand. And well, at the time, I didn't know he was a Baron. He just was a man holding my hand. And he was kind of singing kind of cool songs. And I'm listening to everything. So I'm like, oh man, I'm dead. I'm dead. This is an angel of death. Because we used to watch Touched by an Angel and that type of shit. And my grandma doing what she doing. We understood life and death and spirituality. So, so this guy was holding my hand for like 4 or 5 hours. The ambulance didn't think to check on me. I'm still my head with my neck pinned to the tire. I'm still facing the wooded area. And I could see the wooded area in the clock that was on the side of Magic Fry. I could see the clock in the wooded area right there. So 3, 4 hours passed. No monster came out to get me, no snake bit me. But after 3 or 4 hours, they came to lift the car up off my chest. When they came to lift the car up off my chest, the guy that was holding my hand, he took a glove out of his pocket, put it on his hand, and stood back and just watched me. And I'm looking at him. And I didn't pass out until they put me in an ambulance. So now, fast forward, people, fast forward. Fast forward, I'm going past that same place as an adult. I'm 17, 18 now. I'm riding the beach cruiser. I'm not afraid of what's in there no more because nobody ever said anything. I'm not crossing the street anymore. As I'm riding past, I look in the woods just to see what I can see. I see a little hairy ape monster sitting on a tree. It is not looking at me. I am not staring at it. It's not worried about me. It's just sitting on a tree. And that's when I realized it was a swamp back there because the log had fallen and half of the log was in the tree. And because I guess some of the brush had died. And I'm looking at there was a small little baby swamp back there. And the damn gorilla thing was just standing back there, sitting on a tree, majestic like, not worried about the road, the traffic, or nothing. It was just looking at the swamp, chilling. It wasn't hunting, it wasn't moving, it wasn't looking at the road. So I said, son of a bitch, it is a monster in there. So again, I called Uncle B, called my brother. I said, man, if y'all come up here right now, y'all will see this monster sitting on this tree. So everybody, they in the dope game right now. So they like, man, let's go over here. They think I'm crazy, making fun of me. Shit, so they come pulling up in their fancy cars, blasting their loud music. And I said, okay, right here. So I rolled past. I said, y'all come with me. So when they get there, granted, the monster was gone. And I said, he was right there. He was right there. So my brother, he would kind of like, he a jokester. So he'll go to the screens and make you fucking out to be stupid. So this bitch walk his ass up in there. And he goes in that motherfucking thing and he goes to the tree where the monster was sitting, thinking he gonna like find some shit. Well, people, guess what? He found some shit. I guess the tree that the monster was sitting on, that was like his toilet. Cause he said he found like piles of shit right there where the tree, he said it's like a dog couldn't have did it. And he said it looked like a human just used to come out there and use the bathroom, but he said he didn't see any toilet tissue. And we started making jokes that maybe the human was wiping his ass with leaves and shit. So they kept saying, oh, you just saw a homeless nigga in the motherfucking woods and you thought it was a monster because your brain playing tricks on you. And I'm like, that was a hairy fucking gorilla man, dude. So that's it. Now, that's just a cheesy little true spook story. It ain't nothing spooky and scary about that. Just sharing that part of it. So I got another one. I'm going to play it right behind this one. So y'all gonna get two. So I had to get that one off my chest because I didn't know how to make it creepy. That's just the real deal. All right, everybody, I'm tight. telling you guys there's something always hiding. You just make sure your ass ain't creeping with it. Take care. God bless and much love.